Fellas, we are looking at the top 10 best DPS to play in Marvel Rivals. There's something like 17 last time I counted, and not all of them can be the best pick. So let's get into it and see who is on the top of the list. Just as a caveat, I'm not talking about sole performance, I'm also looking at the team up as well, which does change some things for some of the characters. Starting off though, I don't think this will be a surprise for anybody. Hela was very strong that first season that came out, then she did drop down just a tad bit. And now once again, she's still right back up there. She is very effective at terrorizing the squishies, as well as her basic shots dealing a ton of damage, and her secondary shot being very effective for placing a short time trapped or finishing off someone with a little bit of health. With ways to get away in a very powerful ultimate, she is a very strong character indeed, with an amazing team up with Loki and Thor, where if she gets a kill, they either come back to life with the dead or they get some health regenerated. And then next up we have Magic. Magic became very popular sometime last season, and she's a very strong character indeed, especially with her ability with her limbo teleports where she's invincible for a few moments. And then she has her strong ultimate that you can stall a point. You can kill supports in their ultimates as well. She's a very strong character indeed, capable of dealing with flyers if you can play her well. And once you do learn her combos, she's able to take out just about any squishies. The main thing I think she really shines with is her ability to be very versatile. So she can frontline, she could be at the back line, flank, dive, do just about anything you need her to do besides actually heal, if you don't count her passive ability, where every time she attacks, she gets overshield. She's not easy to learn. I tried and quit many times before I got the hang of it, but once you do have a good grasp with her, she's a devastating force. And then we have Mr. Fantastic. When Mr. Fantastic first came out, he was a big pain in the ass to deal with, and then he dropped off until relatively this season. Not that he was a bad character, he just wasn't a great DPS to play. They buffed his ultimate, they made him insanely powerful. His true ability does shine the more you spin your camera while you attack, so you can hit more characters at once. But he's capable to deal with flyers, he gives good defense, he is pretty bulky, and then while I think it is situational, he does have his tank mode, which does deal a lot of damage as well and gives him bonus health. But oftentimes, if you are playing him very competitively, you'll find that you're canceling out of his big tank mode in favor of being able to either dive or use his regular basic attack. I found him very simple to pick up. He has his elongated form that basically gives him invincibility. He's a very strong character that is coming to light a lot more recently. Very tough to kill as well. But just because you pick him up doesn't mean he is going to be a quick, easy, no-brains character to play. Someone that is a quick, easy, no-brains character to play, and I hate putting her here. I hate having her anywhere on my tier list. I hate that she's in the game. We got Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl is very annoying. If you have a Groot on your team, he could put up walls and that really mitigates her attacks, but often he's banned. And for the most part, you don't even really have to aim with Squirrel Girl, you just have to shoot in a general direction, and that's basically good enough. And that's basically her whole kit, is just her basic attack. She does have a secondary attack that will stun an enemy for a few seconds, allowing you to get an easy kill if they're trying to dive you or they're in close. And a jump ability to either get into good position so that you can just spam shoot one direction, or get away in case you're being dived again. But for the most part, you don't need to use any of that. It's just use her basic attack, and that is more than good enough. Squirrel Girl is ridiculously easy. People say Scarlet Witch is brain dead. Does it take skill? No, that is Squirrel Girl. Her ultimate was buffed some time ago. So you put that down a hallway in tight areas, throw it at a wall, that'll bounce, deal double the damage. Super strong. For some reason, not a lot of people shoot it. It can be killed, but not a lot of people choose to break it. she's very good. I hate her, but she's very good. And now someone for his utility, that has to be Namor. Namor had a disgusting team up with Luna up until last season, where he had his ice squid that would slow down enemies. That's the important part. It would slow down enemies and do, I think, a little bit more damage. But that was removed in favor of the Gamma Squid, so a team up with Hulk. The Gamma Squid is insanely strong, but he is amazing anti-dive. His squids will alert your team, or you at the very least, to anyone that's coming in close. It shoots the flyers, it shoots the divers, it shoots the flankers, and then you can control it to shoot whoever you're targeting at that moment. His ultimate is okay. It does get kills depending on their health. It does knock them down for a few moments, which is very good. He is an amazing anti-dive character. And if you see Namor get banned, you know that your team is about to face a ton of divers. Someone who is great now that people have had time to learn to play him and he's had some buffs, Human Torch. You know what? I'm just going to make sure the Squirrel Girl is at the bottom of this list. And I think Human Torch is probably third, actually. Human Torch, when he first came out, a lot of people played him, but played him poorly. He has almost like a shotgun type character. You can get a ton of damage with him, but very little picks. And that was the problem that we were seeing. But nowadays, he's very good for crowd control. You can't put out his fires unless you kill him. He's a flyer. He can dive, literally dive, which is good for getting picks. And if he is up close, he does a ton of damage. His ultimate is, I've never really had a problem with it, but it is annoying, especially if he does have that team up with Storm, which is super, super powerful. But that wastes 2 DPS ults. But it does kill 3 support ultimates, so I think that trade-off actually is worth it. He also has a team up with Inviswoman for some bonus extra health. The real problem that you'll face with Human Torch is you're not going to be healed as much as you like. So you do got to get used to playing at not at full health. Generally, he is a fantastic pick. Literally. I found him a little bit finicky, like a little bit clunky to actually learn and play. But if you play him, he's a very good pick. You see him a lot. I like to ban him a lot. He's not dealing with the divers like Mr. Fantastic or being on the front line or a diver himself. Now, what I think is going to be very controversial, I think he's below Namor for one reason I'll cover later. And that is SpiderMan. The reason why he's below Namor is because Namor will play with your team. Typically, he's in the back line or at least central. SpiderMan, he's off on his own. Well, he does ideally get picks. Your team will only be 5 strong if there's no other divers on your team, which isn't ideal for big fights. Spider-Man, oftentimes you'll see him go 30-2 or 2-30. There's never been an in-between that I've seen. But when you do get a good Spider-Man, he is very good. He's able to pull people off maps, he's able to get quick, easy diving kills, and his ultimate actually is fairly strong. And even if it doesn't kill someone, it wipes them up for a few moments and slows them down, ideally. He can be rage-inducing if he targets you. He's a very, very good character of a diver. I think a little bit better than Black Panther in that regard. He's very hard to learn though, which does hurt him a little. He does have a team up with Squirrel Girl where she gets a bonus move. But he also has a team up with Venom, and Venom is a very fantastic Vanguard where he gets a symbiote special move that is used a lot to get the kills and makes him invincible for I think a second or a second and a half at the moment. He can be hard to hit, hard to deal with. Really, you're going to be dealing with the actual player of Spider-Man. I know that's the case for everyone, but seriously, with Spider-Man, it's either you're bad at him or you're great at him. There's no in between. Someone that we do see a lot and should be banned more is Iron Fist. Iron Fist, first season or so, was very broken. Then I believe he got some nerfs or he just really dropped off. Recently, he has had some good changes that make him very, very powerful, because before he used to focus solely on the squishies and that was good. He was able to get kills with them. Basically, at the moment, he has abilities that make it so he almost never dies, and he's able to take on tanks and melt them. He fights the squishies, he fights the tanks, he kills everyone, and he's able to kill Jeff in his swimming form with his ultimate, however. Cheaper Town Hall, you'll hear it a lot. And then say you do get into lower health and he's up on the wall or flying away. He doesn't fly, but he flies away. He goes up there and heals. He gets overshield, I think up to like 400 or so health. A good Iron Fist is a very, very big pain to deal with, and it feels like there's almost nothing that you can do about it. And I think Psylock actually is the best DPS to use at the moment. She did have a good team up with Magic before with her, I forget what it was called, but she could portal and go back 5 seconds to get health. But now she has a team up with Emma Frost, who is a very common tank to see, where there's 2 Psylocks. Psylocke is already very strong, but now there's 2 of them. She does great chip damage against the flyers. She's able to go in, get picks, get kills, she dives, she flanks. Not so great on the front line. She is able to go in and get the kills that your team needs, as well as finish off anyone that happens to be low health. She's able to quickly get back to the team if she does die, and then after that, she's just a force. She's very strong. I'm not sure what particularly made her so popular this season and what made her so strong. I think it is that team up with Emma, but even without that team up, she's still very strong on her own. Her ultimate can spark out support ultimates, otherwise get picks. And she's actually very, very simple to learn too, on top of everything. She's more user-friendly, you're able to get better picks, deal more damage, and flank. She's very versatile. Not as versatile as Magic, but very strong in her own right. When you play against a good Psylock, it's a nightmare. Honorable mentions, we do have Wolverine, Black Panther, Star-Lord. Star-Lord fell from where he once was because of the change to his E ability, and I think that really hinders him a lot. And Scarlet Witch, she used to be not good. She was decent, but not good. But now she does have that team up with Strange that gives her a very powerful attack. But then you need to have a Doctor Strange on your team, and he's not the best at the moment. And then finally, we have Hawkeye. I think this is where that's going to set at the moment. There we go. I'm more comfortable with this. So with Hawkeye, similar to Hela, he was very, very strong in that first season. And then he took some decent nerfs. But recently, he has gotten some buffs that make him very, very good again. He's able to kill Cloak and Dagger in her support ultimate with just his basic attack. He's able to one-shot squishies. He's sitting in the back, so you really have to go to your way to attack him. And then if you do try to dive him, he has abilities to knock you back. He has some decent resistance. He does have bomb arrows to do area of effect damage, and he has arrow to knock flyers out of the air. He's able to one-shot squishies basically anywhere as long as he has some conditions met, but he's a very strong character. If you fight against him, it can be a pain, and he's always in the backline typically, so good luck getting to him unless you're a diver, and then good luck getting to him. Hawkeye is a very, very strong character. You do have to have good aim, unfortunately, for some of you, but if you want to pick him up, he's not that complicated to play. He does have a lot of kit, but he's not too complicated to play. You'll have fun with him, and it's beyond satisfying getting the one-shot headshots. Now, because I know I'll hear about it later, why is Bucky not in the list? Bucky had that change to his ultimate, and that really, really hurts him. And so that is a wrap on this top 10 DPS Marvel Rivals tier list. Tell me, you think I got anything wrong, or you think anything's out of order? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, hit that like button if you're still watching, subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next one. YouTube thinks you like this video next. Let me know if you do.